Welcome to qnawire.
So for this question, you're asked to calculate in order of magnitude for the velocity of the Earth after you jump up to the maximum height that you can achieve. So in this case, you have a very large system, which is the Earth, and then you have a very small object, which is you going straight up, which means before the collision, nothing is moving. So Pi should be 0. But after the collision, we assume that both objects are moving. So PF should also be 0 because, again, there's no external force acting on this combined system. So if you move up, then the Earth has to move down with a certain velocity, big V, and you're moving up with a certain velocity, small v. So if the initial momentum is equal to the final momentum, then the final momentum is essentially just u plus the mass of the Earth, and big V should be equal to 0. So now we can just put it on the other side, which would be negative m big V. But we want to find big V here, so we can just move this big mass here and divide by that, so we can find the magnitude of this velocity. But they just want an order of magnitude, so you don't need to do this exactly. So essentially, so you know that the mass of the Earth is roughly 10 to the 24, and the mass of anybody jumping, let's just say you are around 200 pounds, which converts to something like 90 kilograms here. And then your velocity, so if you assume you can actually do this math by just assuming that the maximum velocity that you can achieve by jumping is just the total kinetic energy that you have converted into some kind of potential energy that you gain from the jump. So if the mass is the same, you cancel that, you find that V is just slightly equal to square root of 2 times G times H. And if you do this, you find that your estimated height is around 4 for the same person. That is if you can jump up as high as 1 meter, for example. So then this would be around 4. And then you do this math, you find that the velocity of the Earth is somewhere in the order of magnitude of around 10 to the negative 23. Like that. And the negative sign is for the direction, but the order of magnitude is just 10 to the 23.